Okay, so in the last video we got the Contact Form 7 plugin set up and styled inside of the Bootstrap theme, exactly like we have it for this one. Now's a good time to kind of take a look at the original and just take a look. We've done some of the functionality, but you might notice that if you actually click these portfolio items, you get this little pop-up. So if you remember from one of the earlier videos, we had a section where we were trying to split up the footer. That's what that section's kind of populating, and so you can close that. And then the other thing that I've noticed is just that we're having an issue where when you start to type into the contact form, this pop-up's not showing up. So let's kind of address that one first, because that one's going to be the easiest one, because it should be working and there's no reason that it shouldn't. I've kind of already debugged this, but I'm just going to walk you through why it wasn't working, and it's pretty simple. But first we're going to go into here, and you can see that there's JavaScript, and then we have all these correct classes on our form currently. As you can see, we've got all the necessary classes that should be there, this floating label group. This is the JavaScript that it's running on that, but for some reason it's not working. So my second stage to debugging is, well, okay, if the JavaScript has all the necessary classes to do it, why is it not working? So we'll view page source and scroll down to the bottom where the JavaScript's loading. And there's actually another way to do this I'm going to show you really fast, but and this is the source of the original site. Actually, I'll just go ahead and show you. If you inspect the element, and then you were to go to the console, you see all these failed to load resources. The reason is, as you can see here, we don't have that slash separating the JS. So go back to our functions, and as you can remember, I told you to do it for the CSS, but I must have just missed it on the JavaScript. But that's okay. It's part of programming, so just go ahead and add them and save it out. Now we'll refresh. And just to make sure that we got all that going, we'll inspect the element again and take a look at the console again. Okay, so we're getting these, and I'm going to show you how to fix these in a second. It's pretty simple, but you do kind of have to do it. It's a function of WordPress when you add JavaScript to it. But if you go ahead and see it's still not working, that's because we need to add what's called jQuery no conflict for WordPress. Well, you don't need it for WordPress. So just click no conflict, something that I use frequently. Basically, if you scroll down, this is the documentation for jQuery. Give it a second to load. You can see how to implement it, and the one that I always use is just this one right here. You don't actually need that no conflict, but you do need to specify before any of these tags. So up here, before any of it, we're going to go ahead and put the beginning, and then we can go ahead and paste all this and just tab it over, and then we're going to close it out with this closing tag. And paste that in, and then save it out. Okay, so now we'll go back to our thing here, and we're just going to hit Command R to reload, and we should see freelancer.js taken off. Yep, now it's just the contact._me. So now let's see if that fixed it. So we're going to refresh the page. Give it a second here. And there we go. So now our JavaScript is working for that. You'll also notice if you go back to here that when it's not a valid email address, we get a little notification, a validation notification saying, this is currently not a valid email address. And are we getting it on ours? No. The reason's probably that we need to go in and go to our contact_me and just double click it and open it. And it opened it in the window here. Okay, so in here we're going to need that same no conflict so that it knows that the $ is another way to say jQuery. And then we're just going to copy and paste this because it's the same thing. And then save that out. And I'm just going to go ahead and X out of that. And then we're going to refresh again. Now let's take a look at the email address, and there's our validation error. So that's just kind of a rundown of how to debug, and then anytime you're getting a jQuery dependent JavaScript folder, you do need to go ahead and add the no conflict so that it'll work. All right, now the second part is going to be getting. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and end the video. All right, so that's how we kind of went through and fixed the JavaScript that was not working. We now have a fully functioning contact form, the same as we had it on, or the same as, the example site. So let's move on to that modules in the next video. And I apologize about the audio. The microphone was not turned on. So next video, expect better audio. All right, thanks. Bye.